Hey guys, this is FiendFriends91, and I am bringing you my analyzed version of episode 1. If you guys remember, I did a overall view of the season 2, but I'm just going to talk about episode 1, season 2 right now, because I think that these episodes really deserve or need a more in-depth analysis. Now, episode 1 actually starts really peaceful, which is weird for a Walking Dead. Both Walking Deads haven't really started too peaceful. The first one, and when I say both, I'm counting 400 Days kind of like as a separate entity. The first Walking Dead season was started with us in a police car. You know, we hit the zombie or walker and all that type of chaos ensues. The second one started with Vince, if you played Vince Fizak first, and it started with him shooting a guy. So that's not exactly peaceful. Anyway, we start off in Gil's pit stop, which was where the part of the 400 Days was done, the part with Becca and Shell. But the scene quickly turns grim as Omid is shot. Now, this, I believe, was needed because the whole point is that the developers or whoever is doing this game was trying to push a reset button. A reset button meaning, imagine if you had walked with Omid and Krista all this time. Imagine if, like, they were with Clementine the whole time. All of a sudden, you have to recall certain events. You can't just talk as Clementine and not be like, because if they're there, they're gonna recall certain events. Omid gets shot, and then 2 seconds, like basically the next scene almost, though it's 16 months later, Krista disappears. And this allows the developers to, I think it gives them more freedom because they don't have to worry about, like, when if Krista was with Clementine when she met the new group, I think that, you know, they would have to probably write some stuff in because Krista's personality in groups. That would have been really hard. So it's much easier for them just to have Clementine by herself and you got to connect with this new group of people. And when you first start out, I think they try to simulate the whole searching for stuff, but it's not done as well, if I had to be honest, as it was in the first game. It's not like when Lee was searching around the drugstore trying to find batteries and candy bars or protein bars, whatever they were. And, you know, when he was trying to find all that different type of stuff, or even when he was searching around Clementine's house, looking at the blood, looking at the message machine, looking at the TV, I think it was, looking at all this different kinds of stuff. And it was a much better searching than this was. This one didn't have, to me, even as much options. I did like the dog. The dog was a nice addition, but at the same time, he's not there long enough to really make too much of a difference, in my opinion. And also, the decisions you make don't seem to have as much as effect as they did back in season 1. Let's remember, in episode 1, when Lee has to make one of the first decisions, which is just one or the other, it's like either go at day or go at night. That actually causes someone to either die or be alive. This decision for Clementine to kill the dog or not to kill the dog, or to, you know, run away. I've never actually ran away, so I don't know what the decision with Krista does, but it seems like these decisions aren't as strong as they used to be. They don't mean as much as they used to be. Also, when you meet this whole new group of people, it feels a bit rushed. You're just introduced to them. It's not like the pharmacy where, even though you were like introduced to these people and you didn't get them exactly, it wasn't like this exact as it was. This was very, like, it felt a little weak compared to the first season, episode 1. And the whole them just arguing and Clementine having to figure out, like, who to talk to, that was a nice addition, though. The whole point of, like, picked which one to ask for help. Do you pick Alvin, who obviously is going soft because you're a little girl? Do you pick Luke, who basically has your back? Do you pick Pete, who believes you? Or do you pick Rebecca, who doesn't believe anything? Nick, who's crazy? Or do you pick Carlos? Or, well, I'm not sure if you could pick Carlos, but it's still a good addition to allow you to pick somebody. Still, though, this whole general thing seems, as I said, a bit rushed, because the best way to find out about these people let's just compare it once again to the pharmacy in Walking Dead 1 or season 1, episode 1. You got to walk around and ask people questions. In this game, you don't, at least when you meet these people, you don't really get to ask too many questions. It's more about defending yourself, saying you're not bitten. So that's kind of good because it does add some type of tension. It's like, are they going to believe Clementine? What's going to happen? But at the same time, it kind of breaks us from being able to get to know these people. Now, the best way to get to know these people are when you're searching the house, and it is to listen to the conversation that's going on in the kitchen. And that's when you truly know who's on your side, who's not on your side, and you kind of get to tell personalities of these people. It does take a lot of listening, and you do have to, because it seems like that red part really turns red pretty quickly. But still, it's a nice thing, but it still doesn't connect with the characters as much as going up to them and asking them questions. Not to say that you could, because this whole situation is different, and I'm glad it is different. It's not just a copycat. It's not just I arrive in a new group, let's find out who's who, let's find out what's what, let's find out what personalities these guys have. And it is nice to be able to explore the house. It was nice to be able to listen in on the conversation. It was kind of sneaky, kind of very nice for this 11-year-old girl to be doing all this stuff. Very, 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 very cool. But the biggest part of this episode that is actually one of my biggest letdowns is ending. Why? Because once again, it's kind of a copycat of episode 1's ending. You have to pick between two people. But the problem is you don't really know these people well enough to really base it. Back in episode 1, you got to talk to Doug. You got to talk to Carly. You got to find out who you wanted to pick. And in this one, you don't exactly know. I kind of picked Nick just randomly at first. And the ending itself was very weak, if you ask me. Very, very weak. Let's just take a moment to compare it to the ending in season 1, episode 1.
Doc, come on, baby, time to go.
I'm gonna get the truck pulled up round back!
Do it fast. I gotta get my dad out of here.
I don't plan on dilly-dallying. Honey, take Duck into the office and barricade the living hell out of the door behind me. Glenn, when you hear me honking in the alley, start getting people out of here. You got it. Doug, Carly, and Lee, you guys make sure our defenses stay up till then. And Lee, I better take that axe in case I run into any of them on the way to my truck.
Here you go.
All right, that door's not locked anymore. Shit! You three, get on it! I'll get back as fast as I can.
Stay away from the windows.
Dad, we need your help, please, hurry!
There's chaos. It's not just two people going like, oh, I can't, you have to get to the next side of the river. There's chaos. There's so much stuff going on. There's a reason why Doug and Carly are actually chosen. It's not just random. It's like there was so much stuff that was actually happening at that one moment. It really just was a great way to build up to the whole pick between Carly and Doug. This one, not so much. And what made it worse was actually the ending itself. Let's just compare the two last moments of both episodes.
We have to go.
You could have saved him. How could you just leave him?
Yeah, you're right. You know, guys, I think it's going to be okay.
There's a big difference. The first season really drew you in. You wanted to keep playing because that was such a good ending. The second season, you only want to keep playing maybe just to figure out what happens. It's not like something that you really feel compelled to do. I just think this episode was very weak compared to the original season 1, episode 1. It didn't really draw me in like the original Walking Dead did. The only thing that would have made it like a little bit what's going to happen is if you pick Pete as opposed to Nick. Why? Because then you run off with Pete, he's bitten, and Nick runs off. So you ask yourself the question, what happened to Nick? And you also ask yourself the question, what's Pete going to do about that bite? So other than that, really, the ending itself was very bland. It kind of just ended. It didn't exactly like end on a high note. It wasn't something that drew me in. And also, one thing is, do you not see how little water was between both Pete and Nick? It makes little to no sense that this would be a moment of choose who or what. I mean, that's not a big stream. You run across it, and they both had space. They could have ran to Clementine. It was just stupid, if you ask me. How could Telltale even think of that being like a whole, you have to choose which one to pick, when both of them can just run to the other side? It's not like Carly, where Carly was being held by the walker and Doug was being held by walkers, multiple. I mean, that was kind of just lazy. If I had to give my opinion, it'd be that Telltale kind of got lazy and just wanted you to pick between two people. And in the end, well, I'll wait till episode 2 to tell you what in the end. So thanks for watching. That's my analysis of episode 1. Tell me how you thought about episode 1. Did it draw you in? Did it bring you back to the old season, Walking Dead season, or it kind of let you down? Just tell me in the comments. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and God bless.